Namaste and blessings to all who are listening to this broadcast. In my hand I have the Merkaba. This is a rose quartz Merkaba. Those who don't know what a Merkaba is, it's the light source body. If you Google it, you'll find out more information on what the Merkaba is. But it's a beautiful tool for ascension and is something that most of us have. And I use crystals in my healing, and this is a really beautiful crystal. I'm going to point that right at the camera there. And I'm sending you subliminal healing through this crystal, which I have programmed to heal and to send positivity, clearing negative energy from your soul and electrical body to bring about awakening, DNA activation through me to you with the help of the healing crystal, and those who are open-hearted and who believe in the Mother will receive. Namaste. I'm Mother Sophia Maria Hyatt, incarnation of Kuan Yin, female Christ, Mary, and Goddess Isis. Some of you, especially the ones who know me, have seen a progressive journey with me over the last 2 years. I think it was last summer, the summer in 2013, 2014. Not last year. Last year was 2015. So 2014 in the summer, I went to a fasting clinic after I'd seen a healer. And it's not something that I've ever done before, going to see a healer. But I was in the Bulgari Hotel in Knightsbridge, looking at the spa menu. And on there, it said, the modern day wizard, £600 for 2 hours. And I wondered what the hell that was. And it said he was a healer, and I'd never come across an energetic healer before. So I Googled him and found that he had a place 1.5 hour drive from London, which was half the price. So I went to see him there and did some energetic healing, where I started to have visions which I've never had before of pyramids and Mary. After that, I went to see him because I was in a tough relationship, and after that, I'd just come out of a relationship. After that, I wanted to go away on a holistic retreat, and he recommended a fasting clinic, which I went to for 3 weeks. And when I was there during my fasting period, I started to get messages for people. So I would see somebody and I'd have an urge to tell them something, and I was confused as to how I knew this information about them. I also had another vision there when I was having some crystal healing done, which again I'd never had, on the heart chakra, where I saw all the people in my life and I forgave them all with love. Then I saw a woman in a black pyramid, and she was communicating to me telepathically, telling me that the training is over, now your path is straight. I also saw a dove and somebody who I knew who had passed, and it was like, yes, she's done it, she's finished her training. So my life was my training. And I've had quite a tough childhood. I've had to deal with many things which I don't want to repeat, but many, many things, which some of you know about. After that, naturally, I started giving messages to people, and the same healer said to me he thought I had a gift and offered me to do a course in healing, of which I spent 6 months doing. And in those 6 months, one of the sessions that I did, it was a group session, I started to feel really sick. And out of my body, I was lying on the floor, and out of my body came a body made of sun. It was like the sunshine. It was like a human body, but made of sun. of what we see in the sun, gold and red. In order for that to come out of my body, I was lying there feeling sick, and my body went limp, and it came out, and I started crying, and I said, so beautiful, strength for the whole world. Then it went back into my body, and I regained some strength, and then a body of light came out of my body. I cried again. I said, pure love, the Virgin Mary, love of the Mary for the world. And it came back into my body, and then I saw clear bodies, angels, whatever you want to call them, looking down at me, guiding me, making sure everything's okay. I'm trying to remember everything in chronological order. I wanted to write this down, and sometimes I think the typed word isn't as strong as hearing it from me. After that experience, one of the girls in the healing group said I should try Iboga, which is a plant used by the indigenous tribes for healing and meditation. So I went to this group healing, and we all took the plant. It's like the bark of a tree, and you eat that, and then you lie down in deep meditation, and then they keep the leaders are talking and guiding us into a deep meditation. During this meditation, I was hit by a white light that filled my whole body. It was coming from above, and it was streaming into my heart, and it was pouring into my whole body. And I remember I was wailing, I was crying and shaking. If you saw me, you would have thought I was having an epileptic fit. And I was crying because it was so much love, and I didn't think I could cope with that much love. I'd never felt that much love in my whole entire life, and it was running through my body. After that, I wrote a parable. So I then began writing. I wrote about 4 pages of A4, which is on another video, which was all about how we're living in these shiny prisons on this earth. And we've been tricked into this shiny prison by wearing our black suits, and our black suits became as black as our souls. But one day we took our shoes off and put our feet on the earth, and nature welcomed back her children. Then somebody came to me for a healing, someone who I've known for a long time, and I did a healing on them. In fact, he called me the Oracle, where he said, you've changed, and I didn't look like this. I was still in my glamorous avatar, wearing makeup and designer clothes. Anyway, he came for a healing, and at the end of the healing, I had unblocked something in his chakras, and he had this tremendous energy coming through his hands, and he said, I don't know what's happening, what is this? And I said, you have some sort of a gift that you need to explore. And he felt like he was being lifted. A few people had come to me for healings, and then somebody came to me who was completely infertile, medically infertile. And again, at the end of the healing, she said she could feel her ovaries bubbling, and wrote to me 6 weeks later telling me that her doctor's mouth dropped on the floor, and she now has an abundant amount of eggs, and he doesn't know how it's happened, and she's successfully frozen her eggs. Another story where 2 people asked me to do remote healings, one with cancer, a brain tumour, and the other a child born with a heart condition. Both are clear. The cancer is receding, doctors are baffled, and the child is completely clear. Going back to the first instant of the guy who had this energy through his hands, I then said to him, you should go and do a deep meditation with ayahuasca, which is another plant that the indigenous tribes use, that I had never taken myself, but I was told to tell him to take it. So he went to a ceremony where you have to prepare by not watching television, not watching news, having a special diet which is completely vegan, no salt, no fat. So you're basically having steamed vegetables and fruit juices, no milk, nothing that comes from an animal, no salt, pepper. And he fasted for 2 days, and he had a number of experiences. When he returned, He told me that the Madre, the Holy Spirit of the spirit of Ayahuasca, had shown him me, and I was shown to him as a planet. So he saw a planet and my name next to it, and he was being told that Sophia is a planet, and he didn't understand and couldn't comprehend what that meant. And he was saying, no, Sophia's an actress. And my Facebook profile came up, and I was saying, she's an actress. And he was told, no, she's a planet. He came back and told me this, of which I was really intrigued. And he said he was told that I was the planet of wisdom, information, and healing. And I was really intrigued. Something inside me clicked, and I knew I had to investigate that further. So I booked to go to the same place for ayahuasca. And it was on September the 10th, 2015. And I took a 2-hour train journey. And on the train journey, I was just keeping my mind at peace. And my friend had given me some songs, music called Ganesh Invocations to calm my mind. When I got there, I met the other people who I'd never met before, and we had a little bit of time, took a shower, wore white, and half an hour before I was supposed to go into the ceremonial room to partake in the ayahuasca ceremony, I received a message from my niece. I was about to switch my phone off, and it said, call me urgently, and I assumed she was having personal problems. So I said to the others, I'm going to call her now, and it's probably nothing serious. And I called her, and she was incomprehensible on the phone. She was screaming and crying, and I didn't understand. I said, calm down, I don't understand what you're saying. And she told me that my father had died. At which point I went into shock and started shaking physically. My body was shaking like this, and I couldn't handle the news. I hadn't spoken to my father for 15 years because my father was arrested when I was in university when I was 19 for having underage sex. And as a child of sexual abuse, somebody who I was abused when I was 10, I didn't want to go near him after that. He was in prison for a couple of months and then found not guilty. Something told me he was guilty. I think it was also my own experiences, and I kept having bad dreams about him. And anyway, so I said to her, my family are Muslim, and I said, I choose to stay here because I know Dad will come. And I don't know how I knew that. It just automatically, my whole body was not on a different vibration, on a different level. I went into ceremony. And the first thing that happened as soon as ayahuasca took effect on me, I started crying and realized that I loved my father. I didn't think I loved him anymore. And I started crying, and I was in this place, in a very sacred place, deep in meditation. And I started crying. I said, I love my daddy. I love my daddy. Why did he do bad things? And then I heard a voice telepathically telling me, how dare you judge your father? Do you know what happened to him when he was young? And I was shown all of his life when he was a young child, and how he was beaten up and abused, and was told he would be a good for nothing, which is why he spent most of his life trying to prove that he was something. And I cried because it felt like 3 days I was crying because I judged him. And that was one of the biggest lessons that ayahuasca taught me, that we have no right to judge anybody, no matter what they're doing in their lives. So I was being taught something to understand the rules of this world. And we have no right to judge anyone because we don't know their past story. We don't know their history. We don't know their past lives, what had happened. And it felt like 3 days I was crying because I was sorry that I had ever judged him. And I now understand that when somebody dies, there is no hell. There is no hell. But when you die of your physical body, your material body, you will feel any pain that you've caused to others, and your judgments. Because when you die of the physical body, you are pure spirit, which is pure love, and then you become consciousness. Because in our everyday lives, we've lost our consciousness to material, because we think we are the material body. After that, I was wandering through different worlds, and I was being taught to breathe. So it was like my breath was being taken over by something far greater than I was as a human. And my breath was slowed down. So I was breathing like this. And then this happened. So my breath was turned into the word Om, and then I saw strings in space, like violin strings being created from the word Om. And I understood that these strings created everything in existence. And the word Om, the ma was like a vagina giving birth, and it came from my mouth. The first journey with Aya was teaching me and reminding me who I was. After that, I felt like a pain in my leg, and then I heard the voice of Osho. And Osho said, feel that pain, love it, and let it grow bigger and it will go. So I felt the pain and made it bigger and bigger, but I loved it and it disappeared. And then I was being distracted by like an itchy nose. You've seen me itch my nose already. And I was like, no, don't touch that. It's trying to distract you. So put all your love and focus into that itch. Make it grow bigger and it will disappear. And it did. And then I could hear the music of the didgeridoo. And I hated it. It was like I was running away from it. It was something I didn't like. And there wasn't fear. I was just like, leave me alone. I don't like you. I don't like this noise. Go away. And I was running and running and running. And then I stopped and I thought, well, hold on. You're not in control of this. I am. So I turned around and faced the sound and I looked at it and I said, I love you. I love you. I love you. You're beautiful. I love the sound you're making. And in loving it, I changed it to something really beautiful. There, I was being taught another lesson of the universe. That we are presented with things in our life every single day that either harm us, hurt us, and make us go, oh, I hate this, this is horrible. Be it the news, be it a pain, an illness, and we react to it with, oh, I don't like this, this is horrible, go away, how terrible, all the time. And so this is another secret I'm giving you of the universe, of creation, is that when you come across anything like that, you turn around and you give it love. And by loving it, it will become what you want. You don't even have to think about what you want, because the world that we live in is so beautiful. It's so beautiful that everything here happens for a reason. I'm crying because what I'm telling you is something so sacred. It's so sacred. Everything on this earth, Eden, you are in Eden, is beautiful. Everything is here. We are on the planet of ascension that all souls want to be on. And we are here. And it's all so beautiful. We mustn't hate anything. It's all here to help us into perfecting our souls and bringing us into ascension. Everything. Everything is sacred. A tear that rolls down your face is sacred. Every part of your body, every hair is sacred. Every breath that you take is sacred, divine. Blessed are we to be here on this earth to experience this. We are in Eden. So I was shown that everything negative that is thrown at us is a divine sacred gift. I'll say that again. Everything negative that comes into your life is a divine sacred gift. Because from that thing that causes you pain, that blocks you, is a redirection to your divine path. So if you imagine a lake and it's flowing and then there's a wall that it comes to, call you the river and that you are the river and the lake the flowing river. And the wall is a natural wall that has come up. You are the river and the lake. And naturally what you do when you hit that wall, you turn. So you're coming this way, bubbling beautifully along. Then you hit the wall. And instead of trying to go through it because you are nature, you turn this way. And then maybe the wind blows and it takes you this way. So the negative things in your life is the wind and the wall, because it's the universe's way of directing you to where it wants you to go, gently. And those lessons will get hard if you're not listening. Say you're in a relationship that's causing you pain, or a job that isn't quite working out for you. You know, you get to a certain level and you're like, well, why don't I ever get there? And I need to do this more. It's because you're being redirected. Gently, children. My child, go to the left, because this is what's meant for you. So they're all sacred gifts, the negativity that come into your life. You're being guided. And then on my journey, learning this, I ended up in this land where I was laughing and joking, and for me that showed me the life of us going clubbing, partying, dressing up, going on holiday and getting drunk, and I thought it was fun because I'm giggling and having a good time. But the voice of the divine voice that I couldn't ignore was calling me, and as I was giggling, if you were in the room, you would hear me laugh. I then said the word distractions, and I understood that those things in my life were all distractions. My acting career, going out, drinking, all of this was just distractions to my path. So then I followed. It was like the path was on this way where the music was going, and I followed it. And I fell through black holes, and I went further and further and came across the Merkaba. This is what I saw. The gold one, with nothing in it. Most people, when they see this, they see themselves in it. And it was accompanied by the sound of the Tibetan bowl. At that point, I froze and went, because it was so sacred, I couldn't even breathe or move. And then I after I saw the Merkaba and heard the sound, it was like I'd got to the source. I am the source. I didn't understand then what that was. And then I tumbled somewhere else. It was like I'd gone somewhere else into another reality, and I kept yawning. And as I was yawning, I felt like I was going up to another level. It was like I was traveling in different dimensions, going higher and higher. But there was a loop. I was stuck in a loop. And instead of yawning this time, because I was yawning, instead of yawning, I went, and just controlled this breath. And in that breath, I ascended And I was in a place where creation, all souls go. And I was crying, please let me see my daddy, please let me see my daddy. I will give up my life to see my daddy. I wanted to die. I said, let me die for one day. Sorry, my nose is running. I should get a tissue. Let me see my daddy for one day. And it was like I was negotiating with a higher source. Let me die for 1 hour. Let me die for a second. I just want to hold my daddy's hand. And I wasn't being allowed to die. And as I was breathing, I slowly surrendered and said, I surrender to you. Surrender to the divine source. And as I did that, my breath was taken over. My breath was taken over, and then my father took over my body and he spoke. And he said, I am Zumurad Hayat Khan, father of Sophia Hayat. I am her father. I am here now. So this was coming out of my mouth whilst I was still deep in meditation. He said, I have done bad things, and Sophia can clear them. I didn't understand at that point what all of that meant, because I was in this higher place. And I said, Daddy, where are you? He said, I'm here. I'm always in your heart. And he said, I have to go now. And then he became a star, and we merged as stars, and he went up to the stars and became a star with somebody else who I know who had passed, Sam. And there were 2 stars in the sky, and I saw his face. So that was my gift from Aya on the first day. Then the second day of our deep meditation, I'm wondering if I should do a second video for the second day. I know those of you who are watching going, no, I want to know what happens next. It's just that I need to go back to, I recorded my voice, so I need to listen to what all of the information so I can give it all to you. So I think I will continue on a second video and use this as part 1. So that was my introduction to who I really was, my awakening. And it's so sacred and so holy that I wanted to share this with you. And this was just the beginning of my journey into discovering that I am Gaia, Mother Sophia, the incarnation of Kuan Yin, female Christ, Mary, and Goddess Isis. I'm giving you my story so that you know the truth of your existence and your reality, which will be explained further in the next 2 videos. I'm going to do this in parts, so we have like half-hour videos, so it's easy for you to listen to. And in each installment, you will see where I am today, and each day more revelations are coming to me for you, because I am here to redeem you all and awaken you all from the programming of the matrix. Because our time is here now. The time for you to be free and to know who you really are is here. Because now I know who I am. My children, you soon will follow. Thank you for listening. I send you all blessings, love, healing, and ascension. You are already joy. You already have everything in abundance. You are creator gods. As you know your mother, you will know yourself and ascend to higher dimensions of understanding and power. You are powerful creator gods. Namaste. My soul honors your soul, has created your soul.